Hello and welcome to Missed Checkpoints, the Video Game Book Club podcast. Today we're doing our discussion on Gunpoint. I'm your host Marcus, and joining me today as always are the homies. First off, we have Trevor.
What's going on?
Next we have Greg.
What's up?
And then we also have a special guest. We have my brother. His name is also Trevor, so I guess we'll just bring him in as T.
What's up?
Can never have too many Trevors.
You can have too many. So, yeah, we were talking about it beforehand and how we're going to try to distinguish between the two of you guys. So, Trevor and T are going to be the two things. So,
Big T.
Big T. You said, just to give a brief intro, T, you said, I've given you the list of games, and you decided you were interested in playing Gunpoint. Was there anything in particular that interested you about it?
I saw the other ones. Well, I forgot what the second one was. I know that one of them was that part. What was the part 2 game?
Killer 7?
No, not Killer 7.
Titanfall.
Titanfall. Yeah. That would have been the other one. I would have done. But that one was in April, and I'm gonna be gone most of that month. And then Killer 7 just didn't look that interesting, and I also would have had to whip out a GameCube most likely.
You can on PC.
But also at the same time, it didn't look that interesting. And I'd rather have played it on a GameCube, using like a GameCube controller.
Gotcha.
This one, when I had looked it up, it was like about hacking. And it just sounded interesting. It was like with tech stuff, and I like the 2D game style. It's not like the same as Limbo, but like I felt like it would have had cool art, and like the story just seemed kind of interesting. So that's why I ended up wanting to do this one.
All right. Well, this is the second game for the month of February. This is Greg's game, so I'm gonna kick it to him so he can introduce it.
All right. So why I picked this game? Honestly, I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I was just kind of digging through my Steam library, and I was looking for something that was relatively short to pair up with Her Story. And, I mean, I bought this a long time ago, and figured I might as well give it a shot. So a little bit of background. Gunpoint is a stealth-based puzzle platform game. The game is divided into a number of missions where you play as Richard Conway. He's a spy, and he interacts with other characters in the game through PDA and accepts missions, upgrades skills, and buys new gadgets. The general flow of the game revolves around entering a building, obtaining some item through stealth and some light puzzle elements, and then exiting the building. Gunpoint was developed by Tom Francis in his spare time while working as an editor for PC Gamer UK. Francis had no experience in programming, but after hearing that Spelunky was created under a user-friendly development suite known as Game Maker 8, he decided to give it a shot. The game was known as Private Dick at that time, and he was creating a prototype back in May 2010. After a month, Francis had a working build that he posted on his blog to get some feedback. Francis requested help for art and music next. Francis' core concept when making Gunpoint came from his time as a reviewer. He wanted to make a game that avoided the pitfall of assuming the player is stupid and instead not worry about if the player outthought his own level design. Gunpoint was released June 3rd, 2013 on Windows to mostly positive reviews, attaining a 83 on Metacritic. It was widely praised for its gameplay, art style, and music. A common criticism, though, most reviews shared was that it was pretty short, but the game does include a level editor and Steam Workshop support, so that kind of adds to a little bit of depth to it. Francis noted that his only development cost was $30, which had been recouped in 64 seconds once pre-orders had opened up for the game.
$30?
Yep, $30. That was it.
I'm finna make me a game.
Man hours. It'd probably still take a long time.
Yeah, definitely. But it's $30?
That was it.
What about the electricity to run the...
I guess he just did it on his own man. But yeah, it's crazy that, and it sold pretty well. I don't think they have I didn't look up exact numbers, but he said he he definitely recouped his costs. So,
That sound like it.
yeah.
Okay, so was that it?
Yep, that was it.
All right. So I'm guessing everybody played this on PC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Did anybody play? Everybody play keyboard and mouse, or did anybody try with a controller?
I tried a controller, but apparently it's not set up for that, and I didn't want to go through like joy to key or anything like that, so I was like, I'll just play it on keyboard.
Gotcha.
I feel like this game would also be hard at controller.
Yeah, maybe because of all the hacking stuff. And,
Yeah, the cross link is definitely.
Well, like I was
gonna
also like kind of like a fast. Like I was like I would click and hop from wall to wall sometimes, trying to evade the guards, and so
Well, I
it'd be
mean,
hard to aim.
couldn't you? Did it not pause time when you went into the cross link?
no.
I mean, I guess that would have been the only fix. Because I was just thinking, I mean, they put Worms on Xbox 360, and Worms has that same kind of like arcing, the way you lob stuff. Granted, it's not like action in the same way. Like, you're not like moving and everything is turn based, but I think it's possible, but they would have to make some concessions, like pausing movement.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that could work then. But I feel like that'd make it a little bit easier too.
Yeah. Speaking of easy, let's get into this game. So
Okay.
man, okay, so I want to know, did anybody have, like, when they started up, did anybody have any sound issues with this game? Or was I the only one?
I think you're the only one. I had the game crash on me a couple times, but I mean, outside of that, nothing else.
I didn't have any issues. It seemed fine for me. I didn't notice
Yeah.
anything at least.
So when I booted up the game, I played the first 2 levels with no sound, and I didn't know that it was not supposed to. I didn't know there was supposed to be sound, but then I remember like, oh, like that first mission you play is kind of like a, not even a tutorial, but just getting you like, I guess acclimated to the controls.
Right.
And I was thinking, okay, then this makes sense that it's supposed to be like silent or whatever, like whatever. And then I did like the interface with the CEO with Rook, and then I started the next level, and there was still no sound, and I was like, okay, is this weird? Is this normal? Because I remember people talking about the music is good for this game, and so I watched a YouTube video, and that video didn't have sound either. So I was like, okay, let me keep going, and I beat the first level, and then I was just like, you know what, this can't be right, and then I watched a different video, and it had sound in it, and I was like, okay, yeah, this definitely ain't right, and I basically had to like trial and error that, and that was super frustrating, because I was like super ready to hop into this game, and it took me like maybe about an hour to figure out how to get the sound working for this game, and by the time I got it knocked out, I was like, I don't even feel like playing right now. So yeah, that was frustrating, and that's been a known issue when I on the forums, the Steam forums I've been on. Like, people have been complaining about that since the game came out. So it's kind of crazy.
Like, what specifically was causing it?
So there's I don't know why it started for me from the jump, but supposedly if you end your playing session in a level and not in a menu, then it creates this save file that I guess confuses the game when you boot it up the next time, so it doesn't like the audio files aren't read. And so like there's a specific file under the save files that I have to delete. It's called latest.gun, and I have to delete it anytime I boot up the game in order for the music to play from login. So it's basically when I would play this game, I would go to the folder, delete that file, then boot up the game.
Every time?
Every time, yeah.
That's trash.
You it's no different than playing Doki Doki.
I'm moving files, man. I had that same issue with a similar issue with Castlevania when we played that. Like, every time I booted up the game didn't start with music. So what I had to do was I had to go into the options, change the resolution of the screen, and then change it back, and then for whatever reason the music would start.
I used to, when I played PUBG, that every time I opened up that game, I had to change my key bindings every single time, and I
You couldn't save them out?
No, like it would save. It normally would save, but for me, it just never did. I tried reinstalling the game a couple times. It still didn't work, so I just gave up on it.
Another thing I read about this game, which I didn't actually get the time to check, but I heard that you couldn't change the key bindings in this game.
I thought you could. I thought I remember seeing an option for it.
I just played default, but I read one of the reviews I read on Metacritic, one of the negative ones. It was something like, let me see, where does it say? Keybinds aren't redefinable. This is utterly ridiculous in the 2013 game. Personally, I can't play with the default ones. I'll change the score when they fix this. And that was left December 11th, 2013, and he gave it a 0.
I didn't have an issue with the default key binding.
I didn't either.
It's pretty standard, I would think.
I just wasn't sure if anybody else had noticed that or anything like that. If anybody had tried it, I just wanted to see if that was still accurate. But yeah, so let's kind of like dig into this game some outside of the technical issue that I had. So like as Greg said, this is a it's a stealth-based puzzle platformer. And Trevor, did we use the P word right?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean platformer, right?
No, I mean the puzzle.
I would call these puzzles.
You sure you're not going to call it like a choose your own adventure? But yeah, you play the freelance spy Richard Conway, and you're tasked with infiltrating buildings to fulfill assignments that different clients give you. I think the game starts with him. How does it start? It's like a murder is going on, and he kind of gets crossed up in it, like on the camera, and so like the owner of this is already getting a little convoluted. Basically, this business, this firearm CEO, Rook, she has one of her employees gets murdered. You, Richard Conway, are seen on the camera around the same time as this murder is happening. So you are potentially a suspect. Rook knows you didn't do it, so she reaches out to you to help you clear your name. And that's kind of the jumping off point for the game. And I don't know, like, how do you guys feel about the story in this game? And I'll start with you, Greg.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't pay attention.
Oh, dang.
Like I started, and then when I was like, I felt like a lot of the kind of the dialogue early on wasn't really like that important. I just kind of tuned it all out, Like, I mean, I remember like basic parts of it, but as far as like who did what and all that, that wasn't really paying attention to.
Yeah, I had to play the game and beat it a couple times. I thought there was going to be, after going a little bit through the dialogue and everything, I thought there was going to be different. I mean, different like ending. I guess there is different endings, but I thought there was going to be a little bit more. Like when you're helping that cop, I thought you would be able to do a little bit more with that. But like they both just ended the same way. Like you're off the hook, kind of. Even though you kind of gave yourself up, it just didn't allow you to.
Yeah.
And so I was also in the same way as Greg. Like it kind of just the very first playthrough, I was at first paying attention to the story and like trying to I thought like picking specific dialogue talk would mean something, but it really didn't at the end. And so,
what about you, OG Trevor?
I thought the story was okay. I don't think it was. I think it was just put in the game for the style. Like, not to say it was an afterthought, but I think it was more of just like how do we incorporate this theme and try to tell a story with it. Like, I think it was like really generic, but they tried to tie their own humor into it, and I'm saying they, but I think Greg said it was just one guy who worked on this game.
Yeah, it was what's his name? Tom Francis.
Yeah. So I don't think the story was like supposed to be anything groundbreaking.
It was a little bit interesting to me. The thing that I appreciated about this, okay, I appreciated that there was like dialogue, and I thought the dialogue was kind of clever. I don't know if you guys thought it was funny at all or corny.
Well, yeah, I like the take that they made on it. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen any film noir.
Yeah, I have.
Trying to think of some other ones like Sin City and
L.A. Confidential.
Yeah, I was about to say L.A. Confidential.
Shoot, there's Black Dahlia.
so it kind of has like a modern approach to that genre. Where you're getting all of your information through this. I don't know if it's a phone or just a.
It's like a PDA, a phone type situation.
Similar to Her Story, which seems to be a theme this month.
Yeah. There's a little through line there.
Looking at it through a screen, I guess. I don't know, but like I said, you're getting more of a modern approach to this genre, and then also, like I said, the humor and the dialogue kind of give it a more up to date feel.
And the tech.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I thought did you guys think the dialogue was humorous, or did you kind of like roll your eyes and kind of think it was a little bit corny? Because I kind of treaded the line sometimes. I was like, because I don't know if you guys tried to play like a character and like tried to like play a character and like do options that this character that you felt like the character you were building would only do, or were you just clicking through and seeing everything?
In this, like, I guess in this scenario, I was just kind of doing whatever I thought would be kind of funny. I mean, I guess in like maybe a more story driven game, I might like kind of immerse myself and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna play it like this and do things I think that they would do or whatever. But like for this, I was just kind of, because I mean, like you're saying, there's some humor to it, so I was trying to see like what parts, where it went.
Where is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that there was some parts that were funny, like some of the humor was good, but then I did felt some of it was kind of forced or it was a little too corny. Even though I'm corny, it was corny for me.
I was really expecting it. It kind of made the character, like it kind of informs you of what kind of person the character is, and I like the way that the other characters respond to him is because it's not really fourth wall breaking, but they kind of recognize, oh, he's this snarky type of corny guy, and they respond to him as somebody in the real world would.
Yeah, exactly. And then also it's like kind of delivered over text too, which is kind of like some of the responses kind of seem like, really, dude? Like,
yeah.
It was kind of weird because it was like you're interacting with this person via like a screen through like text messages or whatever, but like some of the responses you could choose were definitely like things that like I don't think would come across in the same way on the screen. And like there was other things too. There was like gags too, like just like how you could take people out. The whole like, I mean, one of the crux of this game is the mobility and the platforming, and kind of going towards that a little bit is the character has these like super spy futuristic pants that basically can like you can jump like super high, you can cling to the walls like Spider-Man and you don't take any fall damage. So like even just the animation of your character jumping like literally like multiple stories in a building like high is kind of humorous in seeing how it's animated, and when you like land or like when you're clinging to a wall or like jumping through a window or everything kind of looks kind of funny and it's animated in a funny way.
They're they're called what, bullfrog pants,
something like that.
And the way it's animated, it looks like he's leaping like a frog.
And like we were talking earlier, it's kind of like Worm style, where like if you've ever played Worms, where when you lob a grenade or do anything, you kind of get like a trajectory arc that you can see before you do anything. The trajectory of the throw. It's the same thing in this game where you see the trajectory of your jump and like how high you're gonna jump. And then in addition, like there's like an upgrade system that increases the strength of your jump or like how far you can go, and then it also increases or shortens the length of time to fully charge a jump, so you can like crouch down and like fully charge your jump faster. And what are the other? I guess we'll talk about the mobility first. Like, did you guys feel like, and enjoy the mobility in this game? Like, whether it be like the climbing the walls, the being able to jump like super high, being able to hang from the walls, like all that, hang from the ceiling.
I loved it. Like, I thought it was fun. Like, that was my favorite part of it. I would just like hopping around being able to like jump in front of guards, like, and to get to like the side of the wall where they can't see you. Like, they see you there for a second, but if you just jump real quick to the ceiling or to the wall on the left, if they're in a different room or something, then they'd have to run over to you. Like, I like doing that, and like, or like hopping from wall to wall. The only thing that was kind of hard for me sometimes was like breaking the glass like from outside. Sometimes it was hard to get the right angle or I would jump just out of range and I would land on the window and then get shot, or I'd break through the window when I wasn't trying to.
Yeah, I had that. There's a couple levels where it's like I would cling on the wall when I wanted to like jump through the glass, and that was frustrating a couple times.
There's like there's supposed to be like a subtle difference in like the arc or whatever, if it's supposed to be like they stick to the wall versus jumping through. I mean, it doesn't work all the time, like where it looks like you're supposed to jump through and then it won't, and you'll just stick to it. That happened to me a few times.
Yeah. And like, cause the line, I noticed it changed from blue to white, and sometimes it'd be white, but you just land like right below the window.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then another thing, sometimes I felt like it was kind of hard to get off the wall. If I'm trying to like drop off the ceiling and go to a different room, sometimes I'll just walk on the side of the wall, and then like you can also like in doorways you can hang on the doorway.
Yep, and not have to touch the ground. It's like the floor is lava.
Yeah, and I would and that would screw me up too. But that didn't happen all the time. But when it did, it was like kind of at times where I didn't want it to happen. Right.
Yeah, that was my only big issue. Is like kind of in scramble situations, the controls don't really lead to the type of like precise movement that you need. So like there's times where I want to, I'll like overshoot a jump accidentally, or like I want to tackle the dude, but I jump too far and end up landing on a wall or something like that. Little things like that, but they don't happen like enough to really make you, annoy you. And then with the way checkpoints are, I mean, if you do mess up, it's pretty easy just to, go back a few seconds and just kind of fix that. So it's not a big deal.
Yeah. But I definitely, like, man, there's so many times where it was just like, I'm trying to, like, break through this glass and it's not doing it. And I didn't even notice that blue line or white line difference. So that's good to know if I ever go back to this game.
I noticed it, but I didn't know what it did.
Yeah.
While I was playing it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So mobility is like half of this game. The other half, would you say, is the stealth aspect and just like I don't want to say sneaking, because this game is not like it's not like Splinter Cell. You're not like crouching in dark corners, like breaking somebody's neck, or like, I mean, you are hacking and there is like dark rooms, but it's not like the same way. So like, I guess the combat in this game is that there's like multiple gadgets that you can use to help you achieve your goal. And one of the first ones, and I guess the only crucial one you need to have, is crosslink, which is basically like being able to relink what a object does. So there are certain things in this game. There are like light switches that turn on a light. And when you go into crosslink mode, you can see which light switch turns on which light. And you can unlink it, so if somebody were to flip the switch, they can no longer that switch no longer controls that light, or other things where you can link that light switch. Instead of it turning on a light, you can have it open a door instead, a door that has like a handprint scanner that you can't use, only the guards can use. So you can kind of use it to kind of traverse and get further into these buildings to get to whatever the crucial information that you're trying to hack, wherever that is. And then what are some of the other gadgets? Like there's a gadget that you don't like take it, like you don't take any fall damage, but you land silently. That was one, right?
Yeah, there's another one that's supposed to dampen the sound of you breaking windows.
There's one that you can turn, like there's electrical sockets and you can activate them, so when a guard walks by them, it disarms, or like it basically incapacitates them.
Yep. I mean, the best one that you get is the one where you kick the doors. Or you can kick the,
yeah,
that one's so good.
There's one where when you're running, you can just run into a door and your character will kick the door and it goes flying. So like you can like basically kick doors into guards. And like all these gadgets, like I think the only crucial one is the crosslink one, but
Wirejack as well.
Oh, Wirejack as well. Well, I thought that's the same thing.
Nope, that's a separate one because that's the one that you. It's the second one you get, and it requires you. There's a mission that requires it, and you have to get it before you can do the mission.
And the way you unlock these is you have access to all of them, quote unquote, from the very beginning, but you have to pay money. So when you're completing missions, you're earning money, and you can kind of you can purchase them. I think there's only 2 levels that absolutely require you to have either crosslink or wirejack. But other than that, you can choose to get everything. You can choose to get nothing. So you can kind of almost choose your own adventure as far as how your play style. And that is like the big like crux, I feel like, of this game is like the customization you have and the experience you want to have based off the gadgets you get. What else is there? There's a gun that you can use,
the revolver.
Which is kind of cool. I feel like that was the only one that was balanced. Everything else I felt like was, I don't want to say overpowered, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. What were the other ones?
You had the one where they said the one where you land silently. They also had the one where you can, I guess it's RNG. If you're in the air and someone shoots at you,
that never worked. Never worked. Those guards were sharp shooters.
They had the muffled glass. You had the one where you could rewire enemy guns.
Oh yeah. So like if somebody else, like if there's 2 guards in a room and say there's one in front of the other, they're like patrolling the area, you could relink the front guard's gun to be the back guard's gun. So if you go into a room and the front guard sees you, he holds up his gun and shoots, but now the trigger is relinked to the back guard, and if he's facing the same direction, he will shoot the front guard in the back. But yeah, and like once they notice that too, like they'll fix it. So like it's like a one time, not one time use, but the way they I guess balance this is there's like a battery amount of like a gauge or a bar, and every time you use an ability, it uses a battery, or depending on how powerful. I think that Wirelink one, I think it takes 4 charges, right?
Yep.
So say you have 7 blocks in your battery. If you relink somebody's gun, that uses 4 of the 3. So it there's a little bit of like meter management, but I feel like it never affected my play. Yeah, did you guys feel that way?
The other thing I didn't like about that meter is it's hidden in the crosslink thing, so you can only see it like once you go into crosslink mode.
I'm not gonna lie, I played this game like 3 times through, and I didn't know about the meter until the very last one, and I was always wondering why
you couldn't relink somebody's gun.
Yeah, because like when I'm in crosslink, I'm focused on like what I need to reroute, especially if I have to do it like real quickly.
So you're already focused on the environment and not necessarily the top left corner. Yeah, I felt the same exact way. I was like, what is this battery thing for? I guess I'll put some points in it. And it wasn't until that last level when you're going up that super tall building that I was like, why can't I reroute this dude's gun? I keep clicking on and nothing's happening.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was just like you just weren't able to do that for his gun. I did it so many times I couldn't figure it out. So I was just like, man, screw it.
Yeah.
And I never really noticed. I don't recall using the booby trap one.
With the electricity one.
Yeah, I used like the way they wanted you to do it. I did it, where you flip the switch like with the crosslink thing, but the prank spasm one or whatever.
Yeah, the achievement.
Yeah, I never. I just never did it.
Were you going for achievements?
I was. I kind of was, but I kind of was just like doing my own playthrough. Like the last playthrough I was doing, I was trying to go. I went through every level without killing or knocking out anybody.
Greg, what's up with Trevors and trying to get achievements, man?
I don't know.
I wasn't like looking for at the achievements and trying to get the achievements. I was just like playing how I wanted to play. Like first playthrough, I went and like knocked people out and killed them if I wanted to. The second playthrough, I just kind of
multiple playthroughs. You're trying to get multiple achievements. I got
Hey,
Sure.
There is nothing wrong with getting achievements.
it. Were you doing that, Trevor?
Not in this game. This game was actually pretty generous with achievements. Like, I didn't even look at the list of achievements to see what I needed to do to get them. I was just kind of playing, and every time I did something new, I'd get an achievement.
What am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something. So, okay. So, did you guys, Greg and Trevor, did you guys have any issues or notice the battery thing at all, or?
I mean, I noticed it. I didn't notice it at first, but like maybe the second time I was trying to do the what was the thing where you could hack the guns, whatever that skill was. When I was trying to do that, that's when I looked at it. It was like, oh, okay, so I don't have enough battery to do this. But it only really became an issue on the last mission, or maybe it was the second to last. It was like maybe one of those missions where it was like, oh, okay, well, all right, now I don't have enough, I don't have enough batteries to do this. But outside of that,
One
wasn't really a big deal.
One really good thing about this game that I like is the fact that you don't necessarily have to use any of those in order to complete the levels. Mm-hmm. You can tackle them pretty much however you want to. Because I went through the majority of the game because I was actually trying to save up
Money.
for the what do they call it, where you can kick down doors.
I think it's called the door buster or
Yeah.
Gate crasher.
Yeah, because what they do is they actually they reveal a certain amount of upgrades to you as you play through the game, but that one being $8,000 is available to you almost from the beginning, I think.
Yeah.
I guess kind of as a teaser, like, you'll never get this much money until you reach the end of the game anyways.
Well, you don't know that.
Right. But I was definitely trying to save up for it, so I didn't buy anything. And it's also pretty cool that you can return stuff.
Yeah, I really appreciated that.
You can try it out in the menu and then return it. But yeah, I was trying to save up for that stuff, so I didn't purchase any upgrades until later in the game, besides the ones that I needed in order to progress. But yeah, so I didn't notice that meter that was there until I think I purchased the one where you can relink guns, and then I happened to go into the crosslink view, and I looked over there and saw there was a meter there. I didn't know what it did. I saw you could purchase more charges for it, and I think around that time you could also pick up battery packs or whatever, and that would refill the charge. But
yeah, they were for like not every level had them.
Right, but I didn't exactly understand what they were for. I don't remember the game even telling you each move is going to cost this many charges. Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Did any of you guys, when you were contemplating getting a new gadget, do the test out thing?
Yeah.
Or did you just... Okay, I think that's the spot when it said it. I think.
Oh, okay.
But I don't... Honestly, I don't remember. But I think it said it there. But I just remember not knowing what it meant. So I just kind of ignored it.
I remember trying out the gun because I was just like, oh, I'm just going to run up in here.
Right. Like CJ from Sending Birds. Yeah, I felt the same way. And then I was like, wait... Why is this guy over here? Because it was the same thing. Like, I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention. So, like, I felt like the gun, like I said earlier, the gun was the only thing that I felt was balanced. Because, like, when you use the gun, when you pull, I think even when you pulled it out, like, not even just when you shot it, when you pulled it out, there was a countdown of 30 seconds. And 30 seconds until the police showed up. And what that meant was that you're in a building, you're like, and to beat the level, you escape the building and go to the subway. And the cops would always be between the building and the way to get to the subway. And like I said, these dudes were dead shots. So like if you peeked out and they were already on high alert, you're getting got. So like whenever you had to pull out a gun, it should be like really close to the end of the level. In like within that 30-second time frame before they show up, because otherwise, not only do you die, but then which is another thing we haven't talked about, but the way the save system is, it would like basically force you to almost restart or lose the last minute of your session. And yes.
Is there any way to avoid that cop? Because I tried to do it a couple times.
I tried it and I never could. So I was just like, I think you had to take him out and shoot them.
Man, I don't see how you'd even shoot him because he don't miss.
They don't miss. So you basically, I think, like I said, I think you had to like beat it before beat the level and like escape the level before the cop showed up. But yeah, the gun was like I said, the only thing I felt was fair and like the only thing that was balanced. Everything else I felt like gave you an unfair advantage, and like why I kind of feel like this game is super easy, because like in my ideal world of this game, like the gadget should be like not even like like you like Trevor said, you can beat this game without the gadgets. You don't need them. So I feel like when you do use them, it should be like a multiplier, like kind of like the skulls in Halo, or like the system in the games we previously played, like Luca, where like Luca, I guess they're more of a multiplier, but in what's that other game? I can't think of the name now. This is so sad.
What was it? What was the game?
And Transistor, how you chose those attachments that gave it like an added difficulty.
Oh yeah, I know.
And like I feel like the gadgets, they should have done that with the gadgets, because it just made the game so trivial and so easy. And like personally, one of my biggest knocks with this game is it gets really repetitive and kind of boring. And especially at the end, because you're just going through the level doing the same thing over and over again. And I feel like besides that, maybe even like maybe if you have the gun, maybe there's a level that they have like guards have like bulletproof vests, or maybe there's like some type of, besides, because I think there was only two types of guards. There was the normal police officer that you could just knock out, and then the police officer. There was three. Oh, and the ninja,
the spy or whatever.
Yeah.
The guy that had the suit and he could see in the dark.
Yeah. So there was three types of enemies, and I feel like if you had these multipliers, they should have had like something to like counter it or something like that. Especially if you got in the habit of using it, like I feel like they should have had an opportunity to like counter you. I don't know, like that's like a big want that I had for this game.
They introduced one other enemy at the last mission, right? The one that, like, the dude that can tackle you and fight you. That was it. But, I mean, I guess It could have. I think maybe adding like some different enemies, like some variety, and that could have helped a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other spy guy was only there depending on how you.
Yeah, what you chose.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I read.
Oh,
that.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
It-
I played. So this the first time I played, he was there. The second time, if you click the other, option for the mission, he's not there. And
Right.
That's the only difference in that level.
It's just depending on who you side with, right?
Yeah.
If you side with, I think Jackson, then he doesn't show up.
Yeah. If you start with Rook,
He does.
that's when he shows up, and it's a pretty epic battle.
So what did you all choose?
The first time I did Rook, so he chose.
Wait, Rook.
I chose her mission.
Yeah, I was like, Rook is a. Okay. I think I chose Rook as well.
Yeah, same.
Dang, I was the only one who went with Jackson.
Jackson. Dang, man. Why did you? So you didn't believe Rook? Honestly, in another like kind of pseudo complaint I have with this game was it didn't really feel like it mattered.
Yeah.
You were helping out two kind of like not equally bad people, but it was like one of these people because like I was thinking kind of like you just said earlier, this is like a noir style. So like you're thinking the damsel in distress, and maybe they were the femme fatale instead, and like they were playing you the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And so like everything that people were telling me, I kind of was like taking with a grain of salt. The only person, and I don't know why, but the only person I trusted was the police officer and the girl in prison. Those were the only two
I trusted Katie.
Yeah, those were the only two people that actually like anything that they needed. I kind of trusted that they weren't telling me or telling me the wrong thing. But I didn't trust Rook, and I didn't trust Jackson, and I didn't trust. Did you work for Rook's boyfriend at one point too, or am I tripping?
I thought her boyfriend was
I thought it was
Or
Jackson.
husband? No, I thought Jackson was the person that was. Well, okay, I'm confused. And then who's Jackson is her husband, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Who's the person that's the other company? That's who I was.
That's starts with a G. Gessler.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking when we kept saying Jackson. I was thinking of Gessler. So yeah, never mind. Yeah, I didn't trust Gessler. I didn't trust Jackson. I didn't trust Rook. I didn't trust any of them.
I felt like you could trust Rook because I trusted Katie, and they were like the same. They worked for the same company.
I just felt like she like at the very end she was gonna turn on you and just say like not turn on you and like get you in trouble, but like just help you be accomplice in setting up her husband or something like that. Is kind of how I felt.
I feel you. I was kind of salty or sad whenever Katie offed herself.
Yeah, that
Thank
was
you.
a heavy part of the story. Because I mean, they did it like just like any type of movie trope. They came in and she was just like, "It's Katie," and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, you're right. It did happen like that, but it did happen like that, and especially too like you just went out of your way to like get some like help get her off the hook, and then
You got her. She was off free, and then like the next thing you hear is
she's
killed
off
herself.
free.
yeah. It's like dang.
I think the thing that really sold it to me was when it came down to that statement that you make to Rook, I believe, where it's just like, you would let an innocent man die to get revenge on the real killer. And so with my choice, I was just kind of like, well, I'd rather make sure the innocent guy goes free than try to, get the real killer.
Gotcha.
I think that's where the story kind of splits.
Yeah, I was trying to think what. Yeah. She was salty. She was like she wanted her revenge.
Yeah.
And we gave it to her, except for you. The only other thing I wanted to like highlight, I don't know if you guys have anything else, was I really, really, really like the restart options or the autosave options in this game. And I would like to see that in more platformers if possible. I don't know if it is like a a thing that they could do, because I don't think like the hard platformers would want to necessarily do this, but like basically when you die in this game, you get like 4 options of being able to restart it, and it's not always the same amount of time, but it's usually like a little bit of time, a medium
like
amount.
Auto saves at certain points.
Yeah, and so what it does is it gives you the option to restart a little bit of time, a medium amount of time, a long period of time, or restart the level over again. So, like, for example, like you die, and then you have to hit one of the 4 button keys, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and it's like 1 would be like 3 seconds rewound, 2 would be like 8 seconds, and then 3 would be maybe like 12 seconds, or you could restart the level if you hit 4. And I thought that was really cool. And then there was some points, like I said, when you pulled out the gun, like all bets were off. And so, like, if you died when you had the gun off, it was like the short amount of time option would be like, you can go back 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Right.
And it was just like, damn, like it really shows you, is it worth it to pull out the gun? Honestly.
I liked the autosave feature, but I felt like as easy as the game was, they could make it hard, like some more playability if like they make a mode where you don't have that, or like there's more guards in certain areas. It's not always the same. I just felt like it made it even easier than it needed to be, than it already was.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Like, I do think it is a very, very cool thing, and I do want more games to do it, but it was kind of interesting that, like, it was in this game where I didn't necessarily... Like, don't get me wrong, I died, especially when I was, like, learning this game, but, like, before I had gadgets and stuff, but once I had gadgets, it was just kind of like, even if it took me longer, I wasn't necessarily, like, speeding through levels. The way I was playing wasn't necessarily like the quickest or most efficient way, but I knew it worked, and so like I was never in a rush, so I would never have to worry about dying or whatever.
I tell you what, I know why they gave you that door breaking one at the very end, because I went back through and played all the levels to. I guess I did go for achievements, huh? I went through all the levels to get A+ on everything. I beat every mission in under a minute. Like
with the door breaker?
With the door, dude, it was so broken. Just to be able to just bust down the doors and knock people out.
$8,000 it ought to be.
You right? Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I ultimately I think this game is fine.
So I agree with you, like about the difficulty, because I believe these are puzzles. However, where you would expect the difficulty to ramp up, the levels only get larger or longer to complete. Mm-hmm. So I kind of wish there was a little bit of give and take in that aspect. But overall, like, I like that it kind of... I don't know. I do like the progression of it, creating longer levels, because especially when you're dropped in and you look at like a really tall building or something like that, and you're like, oh, this building has multiple floors. I'm gonna have to go to each floor and figure out what to do. And like, I like the strategy aspect of that, because it makes the level more complex, but it doesn't add to the difficulty at all. That's really the only complaint I have about this game. There were a couple, like, I think it was that one level where you have like 4 different wiretaps that you have to get to. Like,
all the different color ones.
Yeah, I wish there was more of that. But you know, you only see those. They never really combine all those complexities. They single them out.
Right, and it's so frustrating because it's like it's almost there. I feel like it's almost there, and it's just like a couple of things. Like another, so like my biggest complaints were I felt like the gadgets should have. There should have been a push and pull. If I use this gadget, because it's like, what's the point? You can play without the gadgets, but like, why would you play without the gadgets? I feel like I don't think anybody would go through this game playing without the gadgets unless they were going for the achievement. So I don't
Wait,
think
there's an achievement?
huh?
I did it without the gadgets.
There's an achievement. So there's an achievement. Well, it's two parts. I think you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to kill anybody. The entire game, and I think also not use the gadgets. I think you have to do both those things. But I kind of feel like there's nobody's first playthrough is going to be a gadgetless playthrough. So like I feel like there should be like a ramp up. It's like, oh, you're using this gadget. Well, because you're using this gadget, the enemies will start reacting this way. And that part never happens, so the difficulty never ramps up. And then the other thing I was going to say is that, like, this game, it kind of got a little dry for me also, there was, like, no mission. Like, the mission was to hack something, but, like, and there was, like, a multiplier or something, or I don't know, some type of, like, side objective was to not kill anybody if you're, like, I think it's each person that you do, whether it be Rook, Gessler, or Jackson, had a certain, like, sub-objective where it's like, don't kill somebody. This person says kill everybody. This person says no violence or something like that. Get in, get out, like, super quiet. But there's not any, like, I guess you just get a higher rating, a ranking, but, like, it doesn't seem like it matters.
Yeah, I didn't feel that way either. And then also the laptops, the additional laptops that you can get, I felt like that didn't really matter either, even though they had some, like,
interesting information on them.
Yeah, but I feel like it still didn't matter.
Yeah, and, like, that was frustrating because it was like they were putting, I don't want to say, like, because, I mean, you shouldn't put crucial stuff on collectibles, honestly. There should be some type of reward or just, like, at the very least achievement, which I'm sure there's an achievement, so I'm not sad that they didn't give you anything for that, but it just was kind of like, I was trying to go for laptops, but after a while I was just kind of like, why? Like, if I go for laptops or whatever, my overall score is going to be less, and I don't feel like it's important.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that you can still get like an A plus, I think, even if you don't get the laptop.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just kind of like, what's the point? What's the point?
Yeah, I felt the same way too, because probably about halfway through the game, I stopped replaying levels to try to get everything.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was just like, it's not giving you any more money.
Exactly.
It's like, why am I going for the higher rating?
Yeah, it was I don't know. It was a little disappointing, honestly, because it was just like I think this game overall is a good game, and I don't think that I don't know, like, it just left me wanting more.
It just needs a patch update. It seems like to get all those fixes out.
And because, like, every review I read was like, people, like, because I like reading the negative reviews because I just want to see, like, what people are complaining about. And there honestly wasn't a lot of negative reviews about this game, which I don't think there should have been. But, like, something that I saw a lot of people saying was that the gameplay was pretty simple. It was fun and engaging, but it was short. And, like, a lot of people were like, oh, it's short, or, oh, this thing is easy. But they offer this create your own level thing, and it was just kind of like, well, you can overlook the fact that this game is easy because you can create your own things. And it was just kind of like, well, I don't want to create my own things, and I want the main part of the game to be fun. And it was fun, but it was just like, it left me wanting more.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too when I heard Greg say there was a create your own level feature in the game. I was just like, I could honestly see, people just creating their own levels to be a lot more complex and also, feel more rewarding than a lot of the levels in this game, especially like in the, in the latter half of the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like the, shoot, you were just saying, I had another point, but I can't remember it now. I don't know. It's just like for every good thing I like about this game, I feel like there's something else that I don't like about it. If that makes any sense.
There's not a lot I don't like about this game.
I guess not necessarily like, but something that I wish this game also did. I wish this game was also difficult. I wish this game I wish
variation.
Yes, like yeah.
Like yeah, because all the levels are you go play through and nothing's different.
Like I said, you can play the first level the same way you play the last level every other level, like up until the last level. Like you can play with that same gadgets or whatever, and it's still gonna work. Like I wish there was like a little bit of pushback on like, okay, like you've been using this thing, or not that the game has to react to you, but just kind of give you a little bit of like a different way to think about something, like. And I say that, but one of the crux of this game, or one of the things that is really cool, is like it is really cool for everything to come together exactly as you planned. And like you're like setting up, like when you get to a level and you're like literally you go in a crosslink and you're setting things up almost like dominoes, and then you just do this one thing and everything falls into place exactly how you planned. That is awesome. But like it just starts to feel less and less satisfying the more levels you go through. Where it's just like I'm setting up the dominoes exactly the same exact way. I'm doing everything, and every time the payoff feels less and less satisfying. You still get the payoff, but it just doesn't feel the same.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you guys got anything else? I feel like I've been dominating.
You want to talk about how much this music slaps?
Whew. Let's talk about it.
What, you don't like it?
No.
Oh,
That was like, when I heard it,
Man,
when it was working.
This music is like really high quality. Like I wasn't expecting it from this game, simply because it's one of those pixel 2D platformer games.
You saying pixel 2D games can't have good music?
I haven't seen too many of this quality.
Yeah. So like, what would you say? So it's like a jazzy, like
it's typical like film noir jazz music. I mean, it fits the setting.
Yeah.
I think so too. I agree. I think they did well with what they chose.
That was like, besides.
And then this.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and then also I like the music that they chose too for when you're actually in the mission. It felt like you're supposed to be stealthy and sneaking around. Like it just fit well. One thing I like too that I didn't notice right away when it was like raining outside on a level. When you're outside, it's like loud, but then when you go inside the apartment or building or whatever, the noise, the sound of the rain, it sounded like you were just inside and the rain was hitting walls and glass. I thought that was a pretty cool touch.
Yeah, that and like when you go into crosslink mode, it adds in instruments.
Yo, yes,
man,
that's what I was waiting for, man. When you went into crosslink, it just became like I'm gonna just chill in this for a little bit and just listen to this music.
The bass starts playing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed the music in this game. It was really good. It was really good.
I was surprised. I thought, I agree. I thought it was good.
You got any good things? I feel like we've been dumping on this game in a little bit.
Dumping on it?
A little bit.
I haven't.
I feel like it's been pretty middle
singing
of the
this
road,
game's
right?
praises. This game, like I said, I wish the difficulty ramped up a little bit more. I don't think it necessarily needed to be any longer. I just wish the level length matched the difficulty, or the difficulty matched the level length. Because it feels like you are working up towards that. There is the story is working up to a climax, but the gameplay doesn't reach that same climax.
The payoff ain't there.
Yeah.
I wonder if, because I didn't mess around with any of them, but I wonder if any of the user-created levels from Steam Workshop are any harder.
We were talking about that when you had to dip out for a little bit, and we were just kind of like, honestly, they could have been, but it's also just kind of like a crapshoot,
Yeah, I get it.
How did you guys play when you guys played? Like, were you guys knocking people out or not killing people, or were you actually killing them?
I was always throwing hands when I could.
Like, were you just doing a knockout punch, or were you just
punching
Yeah,
him?
were you
just
mollywopping them?
I mean, well, you know, I might do a couple extra clicks. But
That's a kill.
What did Riley say on the boom? Like, dang, granddad, you have to kill him.
I mean, I was like, punch, and I was like, oh, I knocked him out. And then I saw punch again, so I just kept clicking it, and then I was like, oh, damn, I killed him.
You started seeing the little tiny pixelated blood.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I ain't doing that again.
Like, I was trying to go through the game without killing anybody, but when you, like, tackle somebody and fall off the side of a building or push them through a window...
It's kind of hard, huh?
That's really satisfying.
Yeah, I love jumping through windows with the guards that have the body armor or whatever. Like, I loved knocking stuff on them. It was so satisfying.
Like breaking through the floor.
Yeah.
Yes,
And they fall
yes.
through. I thought that one level where they had the 3 glass.
that
one was cool.
I was trying to set it up. There was one time when I was playing where I had knocked out 2 people with one. Like, it was so satisfying. Like, I jumped through the window with one guy, and we landed on the guy underneath, and it was like I took out 2 people with one jump. I felt so good.
Did you get an achievement for it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try that.
And then there was also, like, I mean, obviously, like, we're talking about, like, you know, punching and killing people, but, like, kicking a door and hitting somebody with the door is probably the most satisfying thing in the game.
Oh yeah, the last level.
Yes.
is the first 2 floors. You could just do that to everybody on the first 2 floors. Yeah, that one was pretty.
Did you guys? So when that on the last level, when that spy took you guys, tackled you guys outside the window, did you think that the game was like? Did you think the game was over when you hit the ground?
No, I just saw my screen fading, and I was like, "Okay, what do I do?" He's like just destroying my face right now, and then I saw, right trigger to shoot, left trigger to punch, and I was like, "I've been getting punched so much, I'm shooting this dude."
I did the same thing.
my screen was almost all black. I was like, "Wow."
I did the same thing. I was like, I ain't going out like this. He said, I ain't spend 4K to lose some hands.
It's like, I'm not restarting this level.
Yeah, what's that mean? You think I spent 2K on a gat to throw some hands? Yeah, that was super satisfying. Did you have to deal with that, Trevor? This is my bad. Did you have to deal with that, Trevor, because you chose Jackson? Did you not have to fight the spy?
No, I didn't fight another enemy type.
Oh man, so like on that last level on the very top floor, there's a door with the one. Well, at least for us, there was a door with Jackson on one side, and then on the other side, like you go.
He's got the same level. He's got this. The only difference is literally that the spy guy that you fight is not in that room.
Okay, so that first room when you go up the elevator or stairs or whatever, it was a spy in there, and he's crouched down. As soon as you get on that floor, my man tackles you out the window, and you fall all the way down all those flights of, like, those floors on that building, and then he's just wailing on you and just punching you, and like Trevor said, your screen is fading, and you get the option if you like to punch back, but I didn't know that until like I was like, oh, because I was thinking I was dead, and then I started like clicking, and then I was like, wait, right click gun. And you shoot him, and yeah, oh man, it was so satisfying.
Because even when you punch him, like it still looks like you're about to lose. But eventually, I think you beat him up. How did you guys capture Gessler, or like what did you guys do? Because there's multiple ways you can end it.
I shot him. I shot him and his homie.
Yeah. So that's what I had did at first, just because I saw he had the gun and I thought he was just gonna pull it out instantly on you and shoot you. So I just straight up shot him. But if you you could make him surrender.
I didn't know that, but why?
I think so what I did is I opened the door and was already holding the revolver out, and I didn't know the first time I did it that you could walk with while aiming the revolver. But you just walk up to him and then it starts dialogue and you talk to him, and then he'll drop his gun.
Okay.
But then you can still kill him and then leave. Because that's what I did.
Yeah.
Drop your gun.
So
Thank you.
When I first got to that part of the level, did any of y'all get hit by the door?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I didn't realize there was a switch on the desk that he's standing next to. And I guess it's supposed to be like where he's watching the security camera so he can see you walking up to the door since there's a camera right there next to it.
It's funny.
And as soon as you walk to the door, it swings open and it knocks you out and it stuns you. And he just walks over to you, and as soon as you get back up, he shoots you.
Savage.
That's funny.
So yeah, when I realized that switch was there, I think I cross-linked it and then just kicked the door into him.
Yeah.
He got me with the door, so I had to get him back.
Did you guys write down your totals for the very end of the game?
I could
my
boot it
first
back
run
up.
through, I have the screenshot of it.
Because I wrote my totals down, and did you tweet out the
Oh shoot, I forgot to copy that.
I just canceled it.
I didn't tweet it out, but I went through the whole thing of it.
Oh, I tweeted it out.
Oh, here we go. It's on that. So I still had it pulled up. So I had 10 dead, 34 injured, 20 jobs, 13,000.
Yeah, I think the 20 jobs and 13,000 is the same.
Yeah.
But I had 17 dead.
Yeah, I
My
had
first playthrough.
17 dead and 35 injured. I was throwing hands.
Let's see if I can find.
I think I the first playthrough I was definitely knocking people out the windows a lot. That was fun.
You looking up yours, Trevor?
I'm trying to bring that page back because I think I closed it by accident.
Rip.
What's the website called it was on?
I tweeted it. Let me see if I have my last tweet. It was kind of cool that they had that little interface where you could post like a fake screenshot, like a newspaper. It kind of just tied it to the world or to the out. Pentadac.com / category. I'll send you the message.
I found it.
Okay.
I was just trying to find it in my history. 7 dead, 33 injured.
Bang, 7? You didn't hit the double digits. Weak.
I told you I was trying to go through this game without killing anybody.
That's funny. I had a couple of questions. If you guys wanted to do that, and then we can wrap it up.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay. These are going to be based off my experience, so you can kind of see how I felt about this game. Do you think this game has replayability? Sans achievement hunting.
Okay.
No.
No. The only thing good about the replayability, the only thing that would make it replayable is the fact that you can basically skip all the dialogue if you like the mission. I do like that aspect about it. How you can just end the call on the PDA and then just get right into a mission if you replay it. But if you don't really care about the story, but outside of that, I'm good with not playing this game again.
Well, you already did.
Yeah, I mean,
But again.
I played it again because I wanted to make sure I knew the story for this, and that was the only reason why I played it again.
Research purposes.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Nah, yeah, I don't think there's enough variation in what you do to really, make you want to go back and play it again. I mean, I guess you could always improve upon your score, but I don't think that's enough to really make you want to go back and play it again.
Going into this game originally, I, just knowing how long it was going to be, I thought I was going to want to replay it. But then once I finally got to the end of it and thought, oh, well, that was it, There's no, ramp up in degree of difficulty or anything like that, and none of your choices really matter until the very end.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of took away the replayability for me.
I do kind of want to retract my answer slightly because I guess it would. You can't, since there is alternate endings. You have the ability to choose 2 different missions. That would make it replayable for, I feel like, quite a few people. But it kind of made it for me. I did want to see the other endings, but it's just.
Does it though? Because
I didn't. I mean, like, because I mean, I didn't know that you weren't gonna fight the. I thought that they would both be the same, where you fight the person.
It sounds like you get more
difference.
bang for your buck by choosing that ending, the one that y'all did, than the one that I did.
You definitely do. You definitely do. Because it's just, I mean, it's just a cooler little conference. It's like an Easter egg kind of thing almost. But what would make this game more replayable is the ability to have different difficulties and to have maybe more enemies.
Yeah,
like you were saying, like, I think having more enemies would definitely make this game. You would have to change up how you play. I mean, without,
because then the battery thing would matter.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't even know about that really at all. So I feel like that would make stuff more important and make things more relevant. And it would just, I felt like I could play different play styles out of my own choice, but I feel like they could make it where you kind of had to, for certain levels, depending on how many people they put on there, you'd have to do it more specific ways or be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, exactly. We actually, honestly, I was looking through my questions and we answered a lot of them. I'll just read them out, but we kind of already talked about them. It's like, do you feel the abilities matter? We kind of talked about that. Do you feel satisfying setting? Okay, well, yeah, I guess, did you guys feel the abilities mattered? I kind of said how I felt, but I don't know if you guys kind of agreed, or did you think they were cool, or like...
The ability only mattered on the last level. You had to either have the door kick or the gun. Outside of that, no, I don't think they mattered. Because like I said, I only bought upgrades for my jumpsuit to jump higher and jump faster. And then the last level, you have to buy the door one in order to do it. Mm-hmm. So no, I don't think they matter. Do I think they make the game a little bit more fun? Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think they matter.
Greg, Trevor?
For me, they obviously didn't matter because I went through the majority of the game without buying any of them. And once I did buy them, they were sort of underwhelming to the point where, it was really, I don't know, it felt like I was actually playing the game with less abilities than it did when I had more abilities. Because, like, the cross-linking thing was my favorite part of the game, and that's what I wanted to use in order to get through the levels, rather than trying to incorporate, these other gadgets.
Greg?
I don't think they matter for the most part. You could accomplish most of what you needed to without them. I mean, they do kind of... I mean, they're nice to get and play with for, like, the first few times you get them, or, but, like, I don't really think they're, essential to whatever enjoyment you're going to get out the game.
Did you guys feel satisfying setting up an encounter? Like, the setting up and, like, things going as you planned it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just think... it's too much rinse, wash, and repeat, and eventually that just gets old after a while,
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun to do, I guess. But
it just becomes like kind of what I said earlier. It just becomes less and less satisfying once you have done it a bunch of times.
Yeah, I like at first the sound one, the one that like you could use to incorporate like off an elevator ding or the alarm that you set off with the camera. I thought that one was couldn't figure that one out quite that well at first, but once I got the hang of it, I thought it was pretty cool. It would have been cool if they could have incorporated like maybe like you could have hacked the printer and like made the printer like make the scanning noise or something to make it go off. But I thought that everything seemed to work out smoothly for the most part for me.
Mm-hmm. I guess the last one I had is, so do you think you could have played this game, or would you have fun playing this game with the mobility as a platformer instead of like as this spy game? Like, would you have had fun just playing with a game that was mobile like that, and maybe like less of the gadgets and like just like a platformer? Because we kind of all said we thought the mobility was fun.
Yeah, N plus.
Right?
I mean, I enjoyed N plus, and so I like the mobility. That's what it kind of reminds me of.
I don't know. I like the combination of both of them. You're saying choosing one over the other, or one way?
I guess maybe instead of like, what if instead of you being like a super spy, you just
like a ninja?
Like, what if instead of you being a super spy with all these gadgets, you were a dude that encountered this spy and stole his pants? So you still had the ability to jump high, but now you're like a Mr. Magoo almost, and you're just trying to avoid all these guards and get out of this facility or something like that.
Do you have
so like
cross-linking abilities?
No cross-link. So like you're more so working on the just getting through the facility. So like guards are obviously opening doors and things like that. You're trying to avoid the cameras. It's more of a like sneaking and like obviously non-lethal game, but like it's, I guess still there's a little bit of stealth because you're trying to hide in dark places and avoid cameras and avoid guards, but you don't have anything to take them out.
I feel like that would be fun still.
I'm not saying better. I'm not saying the game would be any better, but I was just thinking, like, could you play a game with these mobility options? Would you want to do that?
Yeah, I would do that. I think that would be cool, and it'd be a slightly different take. I feel like it could be a little bit more difficult too.
Like this game, it kind of reminded me. I know, Trevor, at one point you said, like, does this remind you of, I think you said Hotline Miami? And honestly, the game it more so reminded me of was, like, Mark of the Ninja a little bit. And, like, my brother, Trevor, will know this, but remember elevator action?
Yeah, on the
original
regular Nintendo?
Yeah, and, like, it reminded me of that, too. But mine, like,
that's what I remind me of, too.
Yeah, and I was like, man, like, an elevator action, like, you had a gun and dudes would shoot at you, but you're going up escalators and elevators and staircases. This reminds me of that game, but, like, you have way more mobility options to avoid stuff. And, yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like a more modern age elevator action to me.
Wasn't he also dressed the same way, too? Wasn't he in a trench coat?
He was, actually.
Yeah. I did think of that game whenever I was playing this one and saw the previews for it before I got it. Is that going to be your next podcast?
You don't know, no comment from Trevor and Greg about the platforming? It wasn't fun enough? I mean, you can be honest.
By itself, like I said, I really enjoyed the cross-link stuff. I don't know if it's because this reminded me almost of like a 2D. I'm blanking on the name of the game.
Game we played?
No, by Ubisoft. What's the name of the game? Where you can hack into the city. Oh, wow.
It's not a 2D game?
No, it's a 3D game.
Is it Watch
AAA
Dogs
game.
You can hack?
Watch Dogs.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know why I was going to say Syndicate. Don't ask me.
Bullet sponges, what?
But yeah, that was my favorite aspect of the game, was just like being able to manipulate different parts of the building, and I don't know, it seemed a lot.
Gotcha. So like for me and my brother, we're like, oh, well, we really, really enjoyed the mobility, so playing that out further would be really fun. But for you, you're like, nah, I'm good.
Not by itself.
Sure.
Because the way I would approach levels is I would, I never got like the fastest times on any of the levels. Like, I would stop and sit there and look at all of the floors and see what what's already unlocked, what I could hack into, or what I could cross-link before I would even start moving through the level.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. How about you, Greg?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down with just playing something with just the mobility. I mean, the hacking was fun, but if they were, I guess, if they were gonna make it like a more difficult like platforming experience, so you could take advantage of the movement a little bit better, and maybe like add some more nuance to the movement and stuff, then yeah, I think I'd be down with that.
Gotcha. Don't get me wrong, I do like the planning things out and the hacking part too, Trevor. But I really did enjoy the jumping around. That was fun.
Yeah, I liked it too. But yeah, that as a separate entity, I still would be able to find that jumping around fun, and also the crosslink. Like if it was just like without the jumping, I feel like fun too.
Sure. Do we have anything else for Gunpoint?
It's fine.
Wait, we haven't got there yet.
Damn, my bad.
Did you have any more questions?
No, the other ones weren't. We kind of covered them, and they were like less interesting things to rehash. So, Trevor, great game, great experience.
Great game, great experience.
I'm offended. He said her story was fine.
Yeah, so I was honestly confused by his answer there.
But we don't gotta get into it. It's fine. Greg, great game, great experience.
It's fine.
Okay.
Hey, Ugmug, great game, great experience.
You just asked Trevor that already. Yeah. Oh yeah. You want me to answer?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say average game, good experience.
Okay. I'm kind of. Yeah, I enjoyed playing the game. I don't think it was great. I don't have a. It was okay. It was a fine experience. So overall, I'm like, it's fine. Yeah. I guess the only other thing I will say, this game is a good bang for your buck. Like it's a pretty short game. I think it's still worth the price that I think was like $5 on Steam or something like that.
If you get it on sale, I think the normal price is $10.
All right, get it for $5.
At $10, yeah. I was gonna say at $10, yeah. No,
I mean it's still like $10 is. I mean, I'm not trying to be in anybody's pocket, but $10 isn't a whole lot. And it's a 3-hour game. It is fun, and like I mean, we kind of had the whole range. Like Trevor really liked it. It seems like. And then we were kind of like less enthusiastic about it, but I think overall we still thought it was fine. So I think definitely if you think $10 is worth it, then I would definitely check it out. But this game, I think it does seem to go on sale quite often. So if you can get it for less, I would highly recommend it.
And I think it is one of those games where you don't need a rush to get it. Like it's worth waiting for it to get on sale. Like
I agree with that. Like it is a cool there's some bangers though. You mean you be neglecting yourself hearing some bangers if you waited. I will say. We got anything else? Should Trevor he stormed off yet?
I'm still here.
Okay, I heard that.
Hey, I'm making my list now.
He said, "I'll show you guys."
I got 3 games on my list for this year.
3P games.
I already know what order they're in.
Where can people find you at, Trevor?
You can find me on the internet at Lyric Unsung.
Where can people find you at, Trevor?
I mean, I guess Facebook. Trevor Dawson. You can find me on Marcus's friends list.
Where can people find you, not Trevor?
Oh, You guys can find me on Twitter at Boombox Hero. Facebook should be the same, Boombox Hero. On Twitch at twitch.tv/Magnegro with a 0 instead of an O at the end. And YouTube at Magnegro.
And you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/potato salad. I'm pretty sure that's my URL. Or potato salad on Twitter. What we got next month, Trevor?
We are finally, for real this time, jumping into Killer 7.
Computer issues all resolved. You had to build a new computer to play this game.
Yep, just for this game.
How old is this game? This 15-year-old game? Had to buy a new computer?
Exactly. I don't know. Yeah. So.
Ooh, yeah, 15. I was right. I just said it off top. Yeah. All right. So Killer 7 will be the game for March. So be on the lookout for that. Have any of you guys started yet?
Nah.
I already know. I knew not to ask Greg. Greg would be like, I'll be like, Greg, we recorded this month. He's like, all right, I'm about to start it. I made sure I had it downloaded today, so I'm good on that. So we gonna be in there. We're gonna be in there. So yeah. Well, with that, we don't have any other questions, right? Nothing else. No other comments about Gunpoint. The most fun game of 2020 thus far.
So far, yeah.
All right. Well, with that,
Good.
we're missed checkpoints and we're out. Peace.